What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage, and it looks like I'm gonna open a dealership in Colorado. Yeah. Reason why that's happening is, well, Carvana just got slapped. What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And I kid, but it's funny to me that I guess, and I applaud Colorado for the state regulators meeting with them and you know, saying that they're going to, you know, Carvana promises that they're going to change things and they're going to make things better and they're not going to sell cars without the titles in hand. Well, since the time of this story, and it's been a few days, I waited a few days for this to get posted, they've already had two other instances where people have basically stated that Carvana said it was going to take 60 days or more for them to get their title, which means they sold cars that they did not have titles in hand for. I know, boo-hoo, what's the big deal, TK? This is ridiculous. Well, no, not really. The issue I have now with Colorado is that Colorado is saying that because the point of sale is taking place outside of the state of Colorado, they have no authority to regulate them. So let me get this right. So I have a Kansas wholesale license. So you're telling me, Colorado, that I can open a dealership in your state and I can do all of this Mickey Mouse stuff and you can't do anything about it? Man, I need to open a dealership in Colorado. I mean, if Carvana can do it and they're saying because it's a different point of sale, you know, well, crap. It's got to be, I mean, that means I could go to Denver and open me up a little mom and pop lot and I can start putting Kansas paper tags on all the vehicles, right? So there's no regulation for me because I'm an out-of-state dealer, right? Wrong. Because let me tell you, the minute I open up a dealership in Denver and I start putting Kansas paper tags on cars and I start selling cars with my point of sale being out of Kansas, even though the car is actually physically being sold in Denver, yeah. So they're building a vending machine there. The point of sale is actually in Colorado now. Now, the regulators had talked to Carvana. Let me tell you what the thing is. Carvana has greased the pockets of so many regulators, you know, state assemblymen, whatever you want to call them, in the state of Colorado, that Colorado really doesn't want to do anything because they're like, well, we don't want to lose this gravy train. It's very similar to what happened in Florida. I mean, you had a jackass from Volusia County try to change the friggin' laws just because he was on his knees deep-throating this company. Anywho's, the wonderful people at Channel 7 in Denver actually did a wonderful story, and I want you guys to see that here now. And she asked some very hard questions and got into it, talking about some of the different things, and I want you guys to see it, so let's roll that.
We're seeing a much more systematic issue with Carvana that is happening more frequently in more counties with more cars.
Since Contact Denver 7 first started investigating complaints about the online car dealership Carvana, we found the state of Colorado is now taking action. I have been digging into Carvana complaints for 2 months now, especially people not getting their titles and finding out about undisclosed damage. Well, tonight we are going in depth with the head of the state agency now putting Carvana on notice.
You might have heard of Carvana and that we sell cars online.
Carvana's promise is easy car buying. But one customer after the next
I don't want anyone to experience this.
tells Contact Denver 7
run away from these people at all costs.
that Carvana's promise was broken.
This could potentially be serious odometer fraud.
Contact Denver 7 has been investigating the popular online car dealership, now under scrutiny nationally. Multiple states issuing fines and suspending their license. To this point, though, it seemed the state of Colorado had done little to nothing.
Is this an important issue to expose?
Oh, I think it's a really important issue to expose.
So we sat down with Mark Ferrandino, the head of Colorado's Department of Revenue, which oversees car dealerships in the state and is very aware of Carvana complaints.
We're seeing a much more systematic issue with Carvana. They're moving cars so quickly that they haven't done their due diligence behind the scenes to make sure they have a clear title before they sell the car.
We found his agency has received complaints from more than half of the counties in our state about Carvana's paperwork problems at the DMV.
There's a specific issue that is greater with Carvana than they're seeing with other dealers.
Really?
And yes, and that's why there was a meeting we had with them to say, this is a problem, it needs to change.
Contact Denver 7 has learned state regulators met with Carvana a few weeks ago. The company promised changes, saying they'll get a new contractor and stop selling cars without the title in hand. While Carvana reps have not agreed to an interview, in a statement to Contact Denver 7, a spokesperson points out the vast majority of their more than 2 million customers have not encountered any such problems. Carvana blames the pandemic for paperwork errors, saying now they have made several improvements to their Colorado processes.
Do you have confidence that Carvana is actually going to make these changes?
You know, we had the conversation. I'm hopeful because I think stories like this that you're doing, complaints we're hearing from the counties, it's an issue. If they want to be able to sell cars, they're going to have to improve their processes.
When it comes to enforcement, Colorado's hands are tied. Even though Carvana has a license here and is building a car vending machine in Denver, the point of sale is out of state.
So all of these investigations were closed because Colorado doesn't have the authority to investigate?
That is correct.
Have our laws kept up with technology, with online dealerships?
So we as a state and other states need to have that conversation as we see more and more sales across the country.
This is a messed up car.
Too late for many Carvana customers, which is why the state is now warning, before you buy, get a mechanic to check it out.
Is this a buyer beware on online car dealerships?
It is important to make sure consumers know what the risk is, especially when you're going online to purchase a car.
Here's the takeaway. You have to protect yourself. The state is not doing it, but they say you should find out where the car you're buying is coming from. Check the VIN to make sure it wasn't stolen or severely damaged. Most important, lemon laws do not apply to used cars, so get that car inspected by a mechanic you trust before you buy it.
Well, guys, what do you guys think? Do you think that Carvana is ever going to be held accountable, or are they going to keep getting passes? Because look, as a dealer, it pisses me off because I know other people like me or other people that are wholesalers or even you guys that are retail dealers, if we tried to do half of the shit that Carvana is doing, we would have been out of business a long time ago. Again, I will give the state of Colorado some credit for trying to force them in a meeting and getting them to promise they won't sell a car without a title, but they're already doing it. So your meeting meant nothing. Just be honest. Just tell the media that you've been bought and paid for by this company. This company has paid you off, and you're for sale, and you got sold. You know, like you're a whore for Carvana money. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. Just be honest about it. You know, I don't have an issue with people on K Street when they lobby and they do their thing and they spend, you know, a stupid amount of money under the table, illegal gifts, all that. That's how government works, man. I get it. But what's going to happen is for you guys that are assemblymen or congressmen, whatever you call in your state of Colorado, you're going to piss off so many consumers, and this story is consistently growing state by state, suspensions, fines, the whole nine, that when it comes time for you to come up for election, it doesn't matter how much money Carvana gave you. The people in your district are going to vote your ass out on things like this. And smart politicians that are trying to run against you will use this as an issue. They don't really care about you. Look at this. Tighten up, man. It's time that these states and these regulators stop putting red lines and drawing lines in the sand, and then when Carvana doesn't follow through, you guys just throw your hands up and go, oh, well, I don't know. Like Florida, for example. Prime example. We're going to suspend your license if this isn't done by... And was it done? Of course not. And the issue is even worse now than it was when they said they were going to fix it. So they need to stop blaming the pandemic. That shit is over with, okay? The pandemic is done. That is a wrap. There's no more issues. DMVs are issuing titles. If I sell a car, I can go to the DMV and get a printed title that same day. Now, I know some states you're going to say, well, it doesn't do that in all states, TK. Okay, you can do a dealer reassignment of title and send it with that paperwork for your consumer if somebody's buying the car. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear the excuses anymore. This is bullshit. And like I said, I hope that these reporters that get this initial pop from these videos and their investigative reporting stay on it, because I'm back on it. I have hours upon hours upon hours of Carvana literally breaking the law in the state of Nevada. And the reason why I haven't done a video on this yet is myself, along with one of the reporters that I've been working with here in Nevada, are going to be sitting down with state regulators and showing them these videos and seeing if they're going to actually crack down on Carvana now, because this is ridiculous. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Just another crazy story, man. You know, rules for thee, but not for me. Good morning.